For all the right reasons, let's re-elect Mike Foley, Montgomery County Clerk of Courts.
This is Mike Foley, and I approve this message.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at him go! He simply runs out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464. You can get me on Twitter also, KAB41. And you can go on live. You're at home, or please don't do it while you're driving. When you're on your mobile device, you can see me on streaming. I'm streamed on 1410ESPN.com, so you can see what I'm talking about. You can send your question, comments, and concern that way. Wow, what a week. It's been a week. Wasn't here Monday. Wasn't here last Monday. We had a little vacation time, but I'll make it up for you this week. I'm here today, and I'm here again today. I think I'm going to stick around. I'm going to join the 3 o'clock show. I'll be here with the Justin and Kev show, Justin Kenner show this afternoon. So you'll see me twice. You'll hear from me twice today. So we got a lot to talk about. So let's just dive in. Since the last time we were talking, guess what? The Buckeyes are back. I guess you hopefully you know that, unless you've been under a rock in the last week and a half. But the Buckeyes are back. No, they won't be playing Saturday, but they will be playing October 24th. At least we got a date, and they're playing the Cornhuskers. So I'm excited about that. Ohio State at Ohio Stadium. It's going to be a limited capacity stadium. It won't be 110,000, Buckeyes, in the stadium, but family and a few friends will be there. I'll be there watching from home. I'm not going to be at the game. I won't be at the game. I'm not even going to try to pull no strings, even get in there at the game. I'm okay with the rules and the guidelines. The Buckeyes are way more important than myself to be there to watch them. I can watch them at home, with TV, like you all guys, can. So I'm just excited. The Buckeyes are playing. I just hope everyone is healthy and on both sides of the ball. The whole, not just the Big Ten conference, but I want everybody in college football, high school, professional sports, everyone is, to remain healthy, as far as anything dealing with the coronavirus, and that is still, still first and foremost on my mind, and it should be on yours, because we are not past it yet. We still have to take your precautions. Wear your mask. I don't care if you forget it in your car and you're at the door of that business establishment. Turn around, walk back, and grab your mask. Stay safe and protect those others around you. Like I always end my show, do random acts of kindness. Well, that's a random act of kindness. Wear your mask at all time. Gloves, even if you have to. I'm in the grocery store all the time, and I spray down my shopping cart every time. Not sometime, every time. And then Sunday, I was putting my groceries away. A lady walked up to me in the parking lot, didn't have a mask on, and I had my shopping cart, and she wanted my shopping cart. I said, well, you can have it, but I hadn't sprayed it down since I sprayed. She said, I'm not scared of no disease. I'm fine. Well, stay away from me, ma'am. Stay away from me. So I had the shopping cart, so I just slid the shopping cart to her. She grabbed it, and she went on in the store, and I jumped in my car. Just don't be that person, please. We want to keep sports. We want to keep, our lives, getting to some point of normalcy. And the way to do that is protect yourself. Black Lives Matters. It's not a slogan, guys. It's not a slogan. It's a movement. It's making a difference in people's lives. So continue, to love on your fellow man. That being said, we got a lot, NFL season is here, week 2. But before I talk about the NFL, I want to shout out a friend of mine, Deion Sanders, college football. He's the head football coach at Jackson State University. Congratulations, Deion Sanders.
He's a Cowboy, too. We know how much you love them Cowboys.
Oh, he's a Cowboy.
Prime time.
Well, I thought he's played with the Falcons. I only remember him with the Falcons and the 49ers, and then I forgot after that.
You want to forget them Cowboy days.
Yes, I know. But he did play for the Cowboys, too. But I'm excited. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of recruits, not just, HBCU recruits. I mean, just imagine you're from Mississippi and you want to go to Mississippi State or Ole Miss and maybe sit on the bench or go play for Deion Sanders at Jackson State. Hey, I'd rather go
you got
there.
Terrell Owens is the wide receivers coach of Warren Sapp.
That's people. That's internet fodder. That's not officially yet.
That's not official?
It's not official yet.
So we're not getting so we don't get our popcorn ready. Is that what you're
saying? Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite.
Another former
that
Cowboy.
Could happen, but as of today, no. No, you want another Cowboy, yes. That's what you're trying to do. You get all
That's
these
my
Cowboys.
wide receiver.
Not your quarterback,
That's
but your
my
wide receiver. I understand it. You guys, Justin Kenner. You guys know his voice. You know who that is. He's producing the show. He's always feel free to jump in at any time. But hey, that's where we are. We got sports to talk about. NBA, I got to talk about the NBA. And before I talk about the NBA, let's talk about your Bengals and your Browns. I haven't had a show since the NFL season started. Excited about that. Cincinnati's closer. Let's talk about the Bengals first. So the Bengals are 0-2. And there's no such thing as being, we're the best 0-2 team in football. No, you're 0-2. You hate to be 0-2. I've been 0-2 before, so I'm not criticizing the Bengals from that standpoint. It just doesn't feel good when you're 0-2. Because in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't want to be that 0-16 team. Let's get a W. And, so when you're in the locker room, after that game and you're sitting there, you're looking at 0-2, next Sunday is a long way away. Man, when can we play again so we can get that first W? Well, the Bengals are going to play the Eagles this week. So 0-3 is not that bad, Cincinnati. Everybody knows I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan. I'm an ex-Philadelphia Eagle for former first-round pick. So my first love is in Philly. So even in my knockout league, I have a knockout league that me and some friends, you get to choose one team every Sunday. And if you win, you advance. With the caveat, if you win, you can't pick that team anymore. So we just started this past Sunday. We had some guys sweating. Some people chose Dallas. Others chose Seattle. And it came down to the last plays. And, hey, they're both advanced. I was smart. I took the Cleveland Browns last week against the Bengals. I was going to take the Bengals if the game would have been in Cincinnati. But the game was in Cleveland, so I went with the Cleveland. So I advanced. So this week I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate to go against the Bengals twice, but I have to. But Cincinnati, I like to play so far of the first 2 weeks of the season of Joe Burrow. He's as good as advertised after 2 weeks. I don't crown quarterbacks until 3 years when I say I give you a fair judgment. So I don't rate a quarterback, after one game, 2 games, 1 season. I say, guys, you're going to have highs and lows, in your first 2 or 3 years in this league. You're just going to. It's just a matter, you want to keep your lows low and your highs, you want to have more highs than lows. And along those lines, look at the first 2 years and going into his 3rd year of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, 2nd year, he was a league MVP. Now he's in his 3rd year, and he's got his team off to a 2-0 start. He's playing tremendous. He seems to be getting better after each game, each year. But there's a jury still out on Lamar Jackson. According to me, yes. But it's early projection. He is what I think he's going to be good. He's on that trajectory of being, one of the all-time greats. Because there's a lot of all-time greats, but he's on a rising star. He hasn't nowhere near his apex. He's just getting better. He's still in the upward trend of his career, along with Pat Mahomes. This is Pat Mahomes' 4th year. 3rd year really playing. And look at Pat Mahomes going into his 4th year. He's already been a league MVP. He's already a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP. He's had a tremendous career. So at this point, yes, I can put him and Lamar Jackson in that. He's ahead of Lamar Jackson because he's a year beyond Lamar. His career far from the apex. He's still going up and up. So now we're talking young quarterbacks. Joe Burrow's only played 2 games. He didn't have any preseason games. So he's only had 2 games with live NFL action. And I think he's done a tremendous job. Under I told you earlier in the summer, it's going to be tough for rookies. Some are going to have a lot of success and others are going to have not as much success. And you can't judge them either way because you don't have enough film. Now the Eagles are playing the Bengals. They got 2 weeks of film with Joe Burrow. They're going to have to make some adjustments to what some of the things he can and cannot do. But you still don't know all that because he's still a pup. I mean, in the first game of the season, when I seen him take off for about 30-yard, 23-yard touchdown run, like, wow. When's the last time you seen the Cincinnati Bengals do that? Never. So Joe Burrow's, he's bringing that, more athleticism, to the quarterback position. Guys are starting to believe more in how good this guy is. I said it a few weeks ago. Only mistake that I had with Joe Burrow is he shouldn't be a captain. Why are you naming a player captain who hasn't even taken a snap in the NFL yet? That's unfair to Joe Burrows. It lets you somewhat know the leadership of the Bengals. He's just not. He shouldn't be a captain. That's putting extra pressure on Joe Burrows from the outside that he doesn't need. He's got enough pressure on him. But I like what I'm seeing out of Joe Burrow. Cincinnati Bengal fans, you have a right to be optimistic about the future being bright with Joe Burrow's, taking snaps for you at the quarterback position. With that being said, I have the Bengals. After seeing them for 2 weeks, there's no reason why the Bengals shouldn't win between 6 and 9 games. This team is a 6-10 team or maybe a 9-7 team. I don't know. But I like what I'm seeing. They very well could be 2-0. Or there could be 1-1, 0-2. Both games could have went either way. But like my old coach says, Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. So they're 0-2. 0-2, not the end of the world. You have to play. NFL season is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You've heard me say it on more than one occasion. You'll hear me say it as the season progresses. You play this game in 4-game segments. Is the first 4 games, how do we do after the first 4 games? How do we do after the midpoint, after 8 games? How do we do 3/4 of the way after 12 games? And how are you going to do it these last 4 games? That's when you're sprinting home toward the playoffs, the jockeying for positions. All 4 of those blocks of games matter. So right now, the Bengals and everybody else in the NFL, they're only 2 games into a 4-game stretch. Are you going to be 2-2? Are you going to be 1-3 or 4? You can't be 4-0, 0-4. That's what. So your Bengals, you want to be 2-2. You want to be 500 after 2 games. Of course, you want to be more than that. But if you're not, doesn't matter. It matters, but all games matters in the NFL. It's not like the NBA, not Major League Baseball. All 16 of these add up. So after the first 4 games, whatever your record is, you want to try to sweep the next 4. If you're 0-4 and you win the next 4, hey, you're 500. You're still there on the second half of the season. But I'll get into that later on as the season progresses.
We have a question coming in for you on Facebook. Sir. Justin Nichols says, it's good. He says, how are you feeling about the Eagles this week against the Bengals? I mean, we're talking about 0-2 teams, but Justin says, how are you feeling about the Eagles this week against the Bengals, a battle of 0-2 teams?
That's a really good question. The same question I'm asking about the Bengals, I'm asking about the Eagles. Carson Wentz, going into the season, I had him in my top 5 quarterbacks, going into the 2020 season. And it's not all Carson Wentz's fault, but part of it is you got to take the good with the bad when you play the quarterback position. And Carson has got to do a better job of taking care of the football. He himself has admitted it. So they're both teams that are struggling with an identity right now of who we are. But I think with the game being in Philadelphia, even though the fans aren't there, that's daunting task, for the Bengals to go in there and get a W. The fans won't be in the stadium, but they'll be around the stadium. You're letting the Bengals know that you're unwelcome. And if you're the Eagles, you're playoff team, you do not want to come, they're only 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. You don't want to go from 0-3 start. It's hard. It's already an uphill battle to make the playoffs at 0-2. But you don't want to go 0-3 where the team have high expectation as the Philadelphia Eagles do. So this is a must-win game for the Eagles, not so much for the Bengals. Of course, the Bengals want to win, but the Eagles in that NFC East, they go 0-3. They're struggling. They're struggling for a wild card. They can almost forget winning the division. So that's the answer to my question. I think it's going to be a tough environment for the Bengals to win this week. I have the Eagles winning, and I picked the Eagles in my knockout. So I shouldn't be choosing teams, with my heart instead of my head. But my heart is out there. I believe the Bengals are going to play a good game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. But I figure the Eagles got somehow, some way, there's too much experience in that Eagles locker room to let them go 0-3. So I figure the Eagles will get it done this week. So the Eagles will be 1-2 and the Bengals will be 0-3. Which leads me to the Cleveland Browns. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Who are the Cleveland Browns? I've been asking that question since I've had this show. Who are they? And the answer is really simple to me. This would be a Nick Chubb offense. Run, and throw. Not throw. Okay, let's settle for a couple of runs. Nick Chubb is the truth. Give him the ball and work your offense around him. Then the play action gets better. The tight end play gets better. Odell Beckham, he gets a lot of publicity, but I don't know who Odell Beckham is as far as Cleveland Browns. We know about the hype. Where was he against the Ravens? Disappeared. And then he played good against the Bengals. You can't be up and down. So I give you a 0 against the Ravens and I give you an A against the Bengals. You're still failing. That's 50%. A 0 and 100 is 50. That's not passing. Odell, you have to step up every game. I just talked about the quarterbacks, year 3 into your career. Baker Mayfield is year 3. Baker, this is a make or break year for you as far as the trajectory of your career. Yes, you had a good rookie season with the last 8 to 9 games of the season. They didn't know you was taking shots and you almost got team, had a lot of, not quite in the playoffs, but you had a lot of people feeling good about the Cleveland Browns. And then last year you came back and laid an egg. People have more film on you. Who are you this year, Baker? Are you studying? Are you putting in more and more work to get better so that when we mention your name, we want to mention your name like we're talking about Lamar Jackson. Is your career still skyrocketing? I'm not saying you're on the downside of your career right now. You're still young, and I'm not passing judgment on you yet. But the sands of the hourglass are starting to fall out when judgment will come. And it's up to you to determine how you would be viewed after your third year. So this is a crucial year for Baker Mayfield. As you go, Cincinnati, the Cleveland Browns go. But quarterbacks get way too much credit when teams win, way too much credit when teams lose. Too much blame when they lose. So Baker, make your job easier. Hand the ball off to Chubb. Take what the defense gives you. Don't force it. Take what they give you. The best quarterbacks do that. Tom Brady, what is he, 55 years old, 60 years old? He's played a long time by taking what the defense gives him. His favorite target is whoever's open. Baker, that's my advice to you. Your favorite target, who's ever open. Whoever's open first gets the ball. You have to, that's where you got that C on your uniform for captain. That's where your leadership steps up. You jump in Odell Beckham's face. I'm going to get you the ball, but get open sooner. You know, and I know football as well as anyone. You have certain plays and certain reads. I got to read this position first, that position second. So go to your progression of reads. So when Odell is the first read on that particular play that's called, tell him to get open and he'll get the ball. But you just can't be myopic only on keeping one guy happy. Your job is to be the quarterback, and that means deal the ball to everyone and move the chains. After you move the chains, touchdowns comes. Do that. Do your job, and you'll be fine. So looking forward to seeing what the Browns are going to do this week. You know, it's a grind. It's a long season, but guess what? We know it's a long season. That's why we signed up for it. We expect it. You know, we're going to get to see Chase Young come back here to Ohio, him and Dwayne Haskins, with the Washington football team playing against the Cleveland Browns. I'm looking forward to seeing that game. You know, thank God I have NFL tickets so I can just channel surf all Sunday afternoon and keep an eye on everybody. You know, so we'll see, you know, what happens this weekend. I got to take a break. And then after the break, we'll talk more about the Buckeyes, more about college football. We got to talk about that game in the NBA last night between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like yourself. New Natrol Relaxia, a full line of drug-free supplements to help you manage occasional stress and anxiety. A special blend of herbals keeps you feeling calm and balanced throughout the day. Because when there's less stress, there's more you. Try new Natrol Relaxia. Learn more at relaxiamood.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to one hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Today, everyone is expecting you to maintain a new level of clean, from customers and employees to students and staff. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. We'll keep you well stocked with cleaning supplies, professionally laundered uniforms, and other essentials like face masks, hand sanitizer, and thermometers. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Most people know the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Fall is a season that's a little in the middle. It's sort of the best of two seasons. It's no longer a sweaty summer, but the winter chill is still around the corner. And that's the perfect time to feed and seed your lawn with Scott's Turf Builder. Even better than spring, because the soil is still warm, but the air is getting cool. So your lawn gets the most nutrients in the best combination of temperatures. Feed and seed now with Scott's Turf Builder and build the best lawn for every season. Scott's, it's good out here.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
Me and the boys are in Miamisburg, Ohio today at the classic Arthur Hills Design Pipestone Golf Club. Pipestone is one of the most popular courses in the Miami Valley, and it's in fantastic condition. It's a beautiful golf course. We're at the tee on the 6th hole. It's a par 5 and one of the most beautiful holes in the entire course. You need to come out to Pipestone and see it for yourself. Unfortunately for me, though, there is trouble all over this hole, and I'm in it. When I finally see the fairway, I have a downhill lie, and I'm staring at an elevated green. I'm not up to the task, though, unfortunately. 3 shots later, I'm in the cup with a double bogey 7. No reason to be upset, though. I mean, there's another beautiful and challenging golf hole ahead. You should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Bromley's for Men would physically shave your face for you if we could. Since we can't, we made our 7-blade razor and Get a Grip handle the simple choice for the smoothest shave. Bromley's for Men in the shaving aisle at Kroger.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens. And all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
prizes this week. That's Greeny as the code to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. Only at DraftKings. Make it ring. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Wilbon next on ESPN Radio.
Geico is now offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies. Visit geico.com for more.
Pros today have to do whatever the job calls for, and the Home Depot is here to help make that easier. With a wide range of delivery options, you can get what you need, from job lot quantities to small supply runs, delivered where and when you need it. Don't want to buy the tool?
Oh, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at him go! He simply runs out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. It's got something in my throat. Hey, you're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464. Give me a second. I got to take a sip of water.
I'll stall. I'll just sit here and it's Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Justin Kinner with you here. Just, it's not the Rona, folks. He just let something go down the wrong pipe. That's all. And we're back, and we're still going.
That Lee's chicken is good. It's lunchtime, so I had a bite of chicken and a little some of that breast of chicken I had. A little crunch of it is in my throat. It was good going down. It's still good, but I'm fine now.
Gotta chew it, Keith.
I got it. I was inhaling. That's right. Chew, swallow. Chew, swallow. That's right. Just teach my kids how to swallow your food. So I have to do that as well. Okay, I'm back. But hey, I said before the break I want to talk about the game last night, the NBA game. I'm just excited to have live sports, so I'm taking advantage of it. Hopefully, just don't take it for granted like we did pre-pandemic. We're still in the midst of the pandemic, so you still have to enjoy what you have. I'm either watching a baseball game, I'm watching a basketball game, or anything. But last night, the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, the Lakers was up 2-0 going into last night, looking to get a leg up in the series and go 3-0. When you go 3-0, it's almost done deal. And the Lakers had opportunity last night, but for whatever reason, they didn't come out flat. They didn't come out ready to play basketball. And then Denver jumped out to a big lead, had it up to 18, then at 20 points at one point. And then the Lakers got mad and started balling. And then that second half, it was a really, really good half of basketball. The Lakers had a tremendous comeback, but just, when you get down 18, sometimes you have to exert all that energy back into play, and you just run out of gas at the end, and you could see it. The Lakers were gassed, got it back to 3 points, had a couple 3-point attempts to tie the game. They came up short both times, but then the Nuggets said, okay, that's enough of that. We're going to take it from here. But I had never watched the NBA game where one team turned the ball over 6 straight times. And that's what the Lakers were able to do against the Nuggets. They turned them over 6 straight times to get them back into it. It was a heck of a ball game. But now the Denver Nuggets prevailed. And so Denver, instead of being down 3-0, they're only down 1. They're down 2-1. And going into this series, I had it going 6 or possible 7 games. And if it got to 7 games, the advantage to me was going to be with the Nuggets because they match up very well against the Lakers, and it's always about matchups. The Lakers are the better team on paper. But you have to play the game. You don't play the game on the paper. You got to play it on the hardwood. And Denver, they're down 2-1. But like I said earlier about the Cincinnati Bengals, they very well could be up 2-1. The Bengals are 0-2. They could be 2-0. And these Nuggets, they could be up 2-1. You look at this series after 3 games. Game 1, that was somewhat of a wash. They were just coming out of back-to-back 7-game series. The Lakers have been at home resting, and it was just a formality. All right, we're down 1. Let's get it over with. And that's what happened. The Lakers, put it on them. And then game 2, they had more than a chance to win that ball game, and Anthony Davis hit a big time shot, and now a backbreaker. Now the Lakers up 2-0. Then Denver won last night's game, so wow, they just turned it, everything around, and so there's a 2-1, and they're gonna play again in a couple nights. So we're going to see how that goes out. But I really see Denver being a sleeper pick. Before the playoffs started, I always like to, especially NBA playoffs, you look for who's going to be a breakout star, in the NBA playoffs. I mean, young guys. We know who the vets. We know LeBron is going to be LeBron. And, other guys are already, got big names. We already know who Giannis was, the Greek freak. But this year, Jawan Murray for the Denver Nuggets is probably the breakout star, the biggest breakout star of these NBA playoffs. A couple of years ago, it was a guy by the name of Donovan Mitchell for the Utah Jazz. And he's like, wow, he is really, really good. He's much better, than we thought. And last year, nobody really jumped out, but I think we had a better appreciation of how good Kawhi Leonard really was last year when they took this team, Toronto Raptors, all the way, to the NBA championship. But it's Murray. He hit that big 3-pointer last night. He is going to be a future all-star if he can get on an all-star team. The West playing guard, it's really hard to make an all-star team. For so many years, Damian Lillard didn't make the all-star team because Kobe Bryant was still playing. And now to make the NBA all-star team is in the Western Conference, or both conferences really, but in the West, Steph Curry will be back next year and Klay Thompson will be back. So will Damian Lillard. So will Harden. So the list goes on and on and on. Chris Paul. I don't know. But Jawan Murray is a name, to keep your eye on, in the future. I don't know if too many guys will play fantasy basketball, but, if you do, hey, maybe you want somebody you want to add to your list, of guys. But the NBA playoffs, I know it's not the summertime when we used to, but you got to enjoy it. Boston and Miami Heat are up tonight, and we'll be watching it, and we'll keep you up to date on everything else. But let me go back, talk about our Buckeyes. Our Buckeyes are practicing again. They're, like I said, the first game of the season is October 24th against Nebraska. I wish it was this Saturday. I know the SEC is opening up this week, but it's going to be funny. Whenever the Buckeyes play, all things being equal, they go out there and take care of business in a month from now, October 24th, and win the ball game. They're going to go from unranked to top 5. So between now and then, you're going to hear a lot about who's ranked and who's not ranked and where's the Big Ten. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll be where we have to be at the end. It's going to be an unconventional year. We get to play that team up north. It's usually a Thanksgiving present. Your Thanksgiving is a little bit better, after you well, no, it used to be your Thanksgiving turkey tasted better after we beat Michigan, but now that game is after Thanksgiving, and but still, that's all part of your Thanksgiving weekend. As it ends with Ohio State whipping up on Michigan. Well, this year's not till December, and we know what holidays in December, Christmas. So that'll be a Christmas present when we try to hang 100 on them. I would love that to happen. As long as we win, Christmas 2020 will be worth the while. And that game is, be coming. So the clocks have already been set in the Woody Hayes facility to count down to that game. That's always, it makes the Buckeye season that much more successful. And what is a successful Buckeye season? Well, you have to win at least 3 games. You win that game, number one, beat Michigan, win the conference, and win your bowl game. Your bowl game or games, however it works out, those lead to a successful Buckeye season. You have to do those 3 things, to help make it a successful season. But it always starts with number one. If you're going to win one game all season long, beat that team up north. That would always be a staple of Ohio State football, Ohio State legacy, Ohio State lore. And of course, football gets most of the attention, and rightfully so. But when Ohio State plays Michigan in any sport or any academic endeavor, we always, when you don't go there, when you concentrate on football, it's more to it. When I was being a student there, I don't care if the softball team was playing Michigan. Those girls on Sunday, we got Michigan. No, they walk around campus a little different attitude that game, especially even the basketball team when they play Michigan. It's a different thing. So that's something that other colleges and other people around the country don't realize. When it's Ohio State, Michigan is bigger than everything. It's the best. So we love to compete against them. And we love spanking them as well, and that just makes things go so much better than it does. I was looking around, the awards and things of that nature. The NFL released their not Big Ten, their players of the week of week 2, and. I was going to say I don't disagree with the NFL a lot. I do disagree with them a lot. But the NFC offensive player of the week was Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, Cowboys had that come from behind victory. Win 40-39. Against the Falcons. Dak Prescott threw for over 400 yards. But come on. The player of the week in the NFC, a quarterback, should have been Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw 5 touchdown passes against the New England Patriots. Both games came down to the last play, nail-biting games. But when you're Russell Wilson, who I think, is the most underrated player in the whole NFL, and that comes when you play it in a city such as Seattle. You hear coastal elites and East Coast bias all the time in a variety of different topics that you're talking about. A lot of it, has some validity to it and some weight. But when you play Seattle's not a small city. It's a nice sized city, but it's always viewed as a small market. When you play in a city like Seattle, you're going to get overlooked. I'm not making up the rules. That's just how it is. One of the reasons why Ken Griffey wanted to leave Seattle to show how great he was. Same with Alex Rodriguez. Same with Randy Johnson. The list goes on and on and on. And now it's Russell Wilson. A lot of people don't even know Russell Wilson has been on a Super Bowl winning team. I'm watching the game Sunday night, and they're still talking about Russell like he's some young rookie. Well, they're still trying to figure out what to do with him. What do you mean what to do with him? Y'all acting like this guy is not great. You know, they said, why is Russell Wilson saying he's the best quarterback in the NFL? Why shouldn't he say that? Why shouldn't he believe that? Why is that not true? If you're Russell Wilson, you know, it's okay he's supposed to feel that way. You know, when I was in the NFL, we had some quarterbacks by the name of Montana, Marino, Elway, Kelly, you know, Boomer Esiason. A whole lot of those guys thought they were the best. It wasn't shy about expressing themselves. And that's okay. I love a confident, healthy quarterback that feels that way about him, because that gets to be contagious. I mean, I've been on the field many a day with Dan Marino, you know, especially in practice. Dan gets mad and get fired up, and he starts talking trash, and Dan would say, there's no defense for a perfect pass, and I can throw a perfect pass. And you're like, wow, that's a confident individual. And that gets to be contagious. Yeah, Dan, you can do it. You can do it. And that stuff gets to be contagious. So when Russell Wilson makes comments like that, I can support that. I want my quarterback to feel that way. And there's a fine line between being confident and braggadocious. So he wasn't bragging. He just stating the fact. And he's going out there and proving it. Then guys, you know, talking and, you know, trash talking, you know, that trash talking is not in the same range, you know, when you're being confident and you're not afraid to express yourself. And I think he's doing it. And if he was playing in a city out, you know, in this part of the country, if he was playing in Chicago, if he was playing in New York, Philadelphia, Boston, you know, Miami, in the Eastern time zone, we would look at Russell Wilson with a different set of lenses. But because he plays in Seattle, the majority of his games are on at 4:00, unless they're in prime time. You know, you just overlook how good he is. And I think that's one of the things that the reporters do, and they get paid not to do that, but they do it anyway. Don't, you know, give everyone a chance, whether you play in the Eastern time zone or the Western time zone. And there's another young quarterback I didn't even talk about yet today, but his team is undefeated. Kyler Murray, the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, he's done a lot, you know, in his year and some change. You know, he's changing the perception of Arizona football. Yes, the Cardinals have been to a Super Bowl. A lot of people forget that, but they have been to a Super Bowl. But they haven't done much before or after that. Guys, Kyler Murray has got them thinking about the playoffs, you know, as a real possibility again. You know, he's adding longevity to Larry Fitzgerald's career, and they got him DeAndre Hopkins. Man, it's the only week. We only had 2 weeks of NFL football, but it's not too early to start thinking about, you know, Kyler Murray. You know, so that NFC West has some weapons out there at the quarterback position. You know, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff. You know, they this is the most healthiest I've seen the NFL at the quarterback position probably in 20 years, and I'm happy to see it. You know, I love to see, you know, good quarterback play. And, you know, love it or leave it, quarterbacks are the face of the franchise. You know, so if the face of your franchise is having a down year, so does a lot of the franchise. So you need your quarterback to be playing well. As your quarterback plays well, that gets to be contagious on both sides of the ball. And that helps things out a whole lot better. You know, Carson Wentz, I've been 0-2 in Philadelphia. It doesn't feel good, but they have the best fans in the world. They're and they are very knowledgeable. So, you know, I don't have to get on Carson Wentz. There's enough people in Philadelphia giving him hell. and so that's why I feel good that he's going to turn it around, you know, and get Philadelphia where they need to be. Cincinnati Bengals. You know, you got the Washington football team coming in Cleveland this weekend. Dwayne Haskins, I'm liking what I've seen out of him in a short amount of time, but Dwayne is still a young quarterback. So Baker, you need to separate yourself this weekend. If the Bengals, if the Browns are serious about making the playoffs, you have to win a game like this early in the season, because they always come back and haunt you later on in the season. So all 16 of these games matter. And the Washington football team, if you want to win the East, you can't lay an egg in Cleveland. You have to go get that W as well. But you've been listening to the Keith Byars radio show. You're going to hear more from me. I'm going to join the show at 3 o'clock today. So I'm just getting started. Thank you. And I'll talk to you again later on this afternoon as well as Monday. This is the Keith Byars radio show presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
About Gale Sayers, we just had Michael Wilbon on, and that is a player, again,